Ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, welcome to the podcast within a podcast covering all the latest and greatest in all things ARPGs, condensed into a tight five that we're calling Arbage Time or ARPG Time. I am your host, Xanth, and let's get on with it. Path of Exile 2 early access releases today, and I had the opportunity to get hands on for about the past week to review, and unlike some people, I did manage to keep my mouth shut about it. On the kind of funny scale, and it is early access, and there's a lot left to be discovered, this is still a 10 out of 10 masterpiece with only 6 classes, 2 ascendancies for each class, giving us, essentially 12 classes. Some of the items have yet to be introduced into the game. Some of the skills have yet to be introduced into the game. This is still the greatest ARPG I have ever played. And if it were to release in this form, barring all those other things, they never make it in, I would be content to play this version for years. Full stop. Well, let's talk about why. First and foremost, the story. In an ARPG, it is not a big deal if you have a great story, but it helps. And I found myself at the end of the story portion wanting more, wanting to know where we were going next and why. And that is a nice example of good storytelling within the genre. Often, you just kind of want to rush through. I kind of expected that with the pace at which I was trying to push through all the content, but the story itself was still engaging, and I wanted to keep going with it. Visually, the game looks amazing, even if you're running on a very crummy PC because you only got access to a PC version. If I go back to when we were in LA, running on a top line PC, it was even better, and I look forward to dropping it into my PlayStation the second I can until I'm able to upgrade this beast. Where an ARPG truly shines, though, is not as much on the polish side, on just the razzle dazzle graphics, if you have it. It's in the skills, it's in the systems, it's in the fun. I didn't find myself chasing fun in this game. It was all around me. I could sit there for 20, 30 minutes messing with skills, messing with my skill tree, trying to make it work, and never feel disappointed. I did find points of inflection during this game, points of resistance where I was struggling with a boss, several bosses. You'll see. But at no point did I ever feel like it was unfair. I would go back to my tree. I could go back to older areas. Every time I go back to an old area, it was generating a brand new map for me to explore, to find new things. So even if I was retreading something I had done before, I was still experiencing it in a different way, which made that process of making and creating this character more exciting. Speaking of which, I spent 48 hours in the past 8 days playing this game. Don't do the math, please. And I only played one character and one ascendancy. I spent all of that time playing a sorceress, and I spec'd into becoming a chronomancer because the thought of stopping time sounded so cool. But as I was doing it, I also had major FOMO of becoming a mercenary or becoming a monk or perhaps maybe even a witch. Every time I was getting involved in my character, it was also in the back of my head planning another character for me to go in and play. That's exciting. And to cap it off, there's more to come. There are going to be 6 more classes. Each one of the classes will have 3 actual ascendancies, which brings the grand total to 24 missing classes in the game that will be introduced in the next 6 months. That's on top of more skills, that's on top of more items, and 3 additional acts that you won't experience in early access. At the moment, as I said earlier, this is the greatest ARPG I have played, and it's only going to get better. My recommendation, the servers might be a bit of a mess today, but go out, get in, and tell me what you think. And I'll be back, maybe in a longer form, once we've all had a chance to play, to really dig into this. In the meantime, this is Xanth, and this has been Arbage Time.